right, so welcome to lesson 4.1, part 2, powers of 10 and multiplication. Go ahead and write that down in your math notebook and write down what you know about powers of 10 and multiplication. Then come back to me. Okay, so powers of 10. Powers of 10 are expressions with repeated factors such as 10 times 10 times 10. They can be written by using a base with an exponent, and I'll go over that in just a second. The base is a number that is used as a repeated factor. The exponent is the number that tells how many times the base is used as a factor. So for example here, 1,000, right? We have 1,000. We can break that apart into a 10 times 10 times 10. Those are our three factors. So our base is 10 because that's what's being repeated. Our exponent tells us how many times we have the 10. We have the 10 3 times. So write that down in your math notebook. Powers of 10. The base is a number that's used as a repeated factor, and the exponent right here tells you how many times you have that factor. Okay? So stop the video and write that down, then come back to me. When you represent a number using a base and an exponent, you are using exponential form. So that's one way that some people refer to it, exponential form. Exponential form, so this is 10 to the power of 3. That's the way I say it, 10 to the power of 3. Another way to say it is 10 raised to the third power or the third power of 10, but I like to say 10 to the power of 3. But so many different ways. So 10 to the power of 3 or 10 raised to the third power or the third power of 10. Those are just different ways that people express it or say it. So let's take a look at them. Okay, so let's take a look at this one. 10 to the power of 2 or raised to the power of 2 is the same thing as 10 times 10. My factor is 10, my exponent is 2. That tells me that I have two 10s. So 10 times 10 is 100, right? If you weren't sure, you could keep the 10, keep the 10, keep the 10. How many extra zeros? 1 0, add a 0, 100, okay? 10 to the power of 5, or 10 raised to the power of 5. We can express that as 10 times 10 times 10. How many do I have? 1, 2, 3. I need 2 more. Times 10 times 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 of them. All right, and so that equals, and if you're not sure, right, what do we do when we multiply by tens? We keep the number, so we keep a 10. And then how many more zeros do I need to add? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to add 4 more zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to put my 1, 2, 3. So it equals 100,000. So 10 to the power of 5, or 10 raised to the 5th power, is 100,000. Okay, so let's try 10 to the power of 4. So why don't you stop the video and you try 10 to the power of 4 and then come back to me and see what you get. All right, so hopefully you got 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 4 times. I kept the original 10, and then I added 1, 2, 3 extra zeros, 1, 2, 3. That gave me 10,000. Okay, let's do the last one together. 10 raised to the power of 1, right? What is it? Just 10, because it tells you have 1 10. So it's just 10, which is equal to 10. It just equals 10, because this tells you you only have 1 10. So it's just 10. All right, let's see another way that these can be seen. Okay, another way to look at this is to go the opposite way right now. Since we know what it is, we know what the exponents and the base to the power of 10. So now we're going to use an exponent to rewrite each repeated multiplication. So 5 times 10 times 10 is the same thing as, let me change my pen color, it's not very dark. The same thing as 5 times, and what's my repeated factor? 10 times 10. What's going to be my exponent? I have 1, 2, 10, so 5 times 10 to the power of 2, okay? So that's how we write those. Let's try this one. 3 times 10 times 10 times 10 would be the same thing as I keep my 3 times, what's my repeated factor? 10. And what's going to be, so that's going to become my base. What's going to be my exponent? How many 10s do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 3 times 10 to the power of 4. That's how you would write that. So you try the last two by yourself, then come back to me. All right, so hopefully you got 1 times 10 to the power of 2, raised to the power of 2 because there's 2 10s. And the last one is 9 times 10 to the power of 3, or raised to the power of 3 because there's 1, 2, 3 10s. All right. All right, so try some more. Use an exponent to write each repeated multiplication. So use the base. Of course, our base is going to be 10, and then put the exponent on it. So just like we did before. So you try these. Pause the video, and then come back to me when you're done to check your answers. All right, so hopefully you got 4 times 10 raised to the power of 2, because there's 2 10s, and our factor, remember, is 10. And then the next one, 6 times 10 to the power of 4, raised to the power of 4, because I have 1, 2, 3, 4 tenths. And then the next one is 5 times 10 raised to the power of 2, because there's 2 tenths. And then the last one is 8 times 10 times 10 times 10. It would be 8 times 10 raised to the power of 3. All right, so we're done with the lesson. So write down what you learned, proof of learning by solving a problem, and a reflection or a question you may have. And that's it for today.